Hey, Way Better team. Welcome to our sixth and final part of our 6-part Vinyasa Yoga series. For every session up until now, we've been incorporating a new yoga pose into our yoga flow. We're going to add our final yoga pose to the end of today's flow, and then we're also going to add a little bit of a cool down at the end. For today's practice, the props I recommend you have nearby are 2 yoga blocks and a yoga strap. Now, if you don't have a yoga strap handy, you can also use a belt or even a long piece of rope. So we're going to get started today by taking our 2 yoga blocks, and we're going to place the first one the wide way, about 1/3 from the top of the mat, and the second one's going to be the tall way just above the first one. We're going to go ahead and lay back on the blocks, resting the back of our head on the tall block that's on top. And then we're going to have the shoulder blades resting on the wider block. Now you have a few options with the legs. The feet can be placed on top of the mat with the knees bent and leaning in towards one another. If you'd like to have a little bit more of a hip opening stretch, you can also place the bottoms of the feet together with the knees opening out to the sides. So find the variation that feels best for you. And let the arms open out to the sides with the palms up. And go ahead and close your eyes. We're just taking a few moments to welcome ourselves to our mats and to connect with our breath. A few inhales and exhales through the nose. With each inhale, expand the rib cage. And with each exhale, soften and deepen the pose. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. 1 more inhale through the nose and then big exhale loudly through the mouth, letting it all out. And blink the eyes open. If the knees are apart, use your hands to pull them back together. And we're just going to take those blocks and set them aside for right now, but we are going to lay back down. And we're going to go ahead and grab our yoga strap or our belt. And we're going to take the right foot, pull the knee in, and kind of loop the strap around the bottom of the foot, like the ball of the foot. And what we want to do is we want to extend that right leg really straight. So the right leg might not come this high, maybe the right leg is down here, but wherever the leg is, we're holding onto the strap and we're pushing the heel away and the toes are reaching down towards us. So we're really stretching out that right hamstring here very, very actively. And if you'd like to deepen this stretch, you have the option to extend that left leg down onto the floor. Wherever you are, make sure that right leg is really active, heel is pressing away, and toes are reaching down towards the body. And we're just going to take a couple more breaths here into this deep hamstring stretch. And if your left leg is extended, go ahead and bring it back in and remove the strap from the right foot, place the right foot down, and place the strap around the ball of the left foot. So we're going to repeat that on the other leg. So pushing that left heel away, maybe that leg is a little bit lower, flexing the foot, reaching the toes actively towards us. And again, if you want to deepen this, go ahead and extend that right leg down onto the ground or just keep it where it is. And breathing into that left hamstring, push the heel away, reach the toes down towards the body. And just holding it here for 1 more nice deep breath. Inhale, extend the heel away, and exhale, soften into the stretch. Nice job. Bend that right knee if it was straight. And remove the strap, placing it off to the side. We're going to slowly sit up and swing the legs around, moving into our tabletop position. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're going to flow through a couple rounds of cat and cow, just warming up the spine. So deep inhale, sink the belly, reach the hips up, shoulder blades down and back, gaze is up. Exhale into cat pose. Rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone and the chin, pushing the floor away with the hands. Inhale, back to cow, arching the back, gaze is up, chest is reaching forward, and exhale, round. Let's do one more round just like that. Inhale, sink the belly, hips reach up, shoulders back, and exhale, back to cat pose. Push the floor away, round the spine. And then come to a nice neutral spine. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees, and send the hips back, moving into our first downward facing dog. So take a moment to settle into this pose, pedaling the legs, pushing the floor away with both hands, squeezing the elbows in towards one another, and reaching those hips up and back. One more deep breath in here. And then come up onto the toes and slowly walk your way to the front of the mat, staying in a very gentle forward fold here with the knees bent, grabbing hold of opposite elbows and just swaying from side to side, releasing the low back. Maybe shake your head and nod your head, release the neck a little bit here. And then lower the hands, keep a bend in the knees and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming to a standing position at the front of the mat. Bring your hands to a prayer pose by the heart, taking a moment to close the eyes, connect to the breath, maybe set an intention if you'd like to right here. And we're going to begin flowing through our Vinyasa flow. So here we go. Inhale, arms up, rooting down through the feet in Tadasana. Exhale, hinging at the hips, coming into a gentle forward fold, Uttanasana. Keep a nice bend in the knees. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, and exhale, soften into the stretch. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on the shins or higher up the legs. Reach the crown of the head to the front of the room, tailbone to the back of the room. Lower the hands and step that right foot back, coming into our low lunge. Inner thighs hugging inward, left knee over that left ankle. Inhale, reach that right arm up and over to the left. Deep breath in. Exhale, soften that right hip flexor. Feel that side stretch on the right side of the body. Coming back up and lowering that right hand down onto the ground or onto a yoga block next to the left foot. And exhale, the left fingertips up to the sky, coming into our gentle twist. Again, you have the option to reach the left hand back and grab hold of that right foot, coming into a quad stretch. And wherever you are, take a deep breath in and soften that left hip, sink a little deeper. And exhale, twist a little bit more to the left, gazing over your left shoulder. Nice, let's bring that left hand back to the front of the mat. Maybe on both blocks. Send the hips back, moving into our runner stretch. So right hip is over that right knee. Left toes are flexed. Left leg is really active. We're inhaling and stretching the spine nice and straight. Exhaling and folding over that left leg. Couple breaths here, keeping that left leg really active and toes flexed. Inhale and expand. Exhale and soften. Very nice. Let's come back to our low lunge for a moment, bringing the hands to the hips or extending the arms up to the sky. Tuck the right toes, lift that right knee, moving into our high lunge. Inner thighs hugging inward, grounding down through both feet. Lowering the hands onto yoga blocks or onto the mat. Stepping the right foot in a few inches and straightening that left leg. Send the left hip back. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, and exhale, fold over that left leg in our pyramid pose. Connecting to the breath, squeezing the inner thighs. Beautiful. If you don't already have your yoga block underneath the right hand, go ahead and place it there next to the left foot. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, place your left hand on your sacrum and begin to spiral the heart over to the left. So coming into our revolved triangle pose, the left fingertips can reach up to the sky. Left hip is reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward. One more breath here. And lowering that left hand down, taking that second yoga block and placing both blocks a few inches in front of that left foot, bend into the left knee and press off the right toes, moving into our warrior 3 prep. So right leg is really active, reaching for the back of the room, parallel to the ground. Left leg is actively pushing into the ground, crown of the head reaching to the front of the room, and staying here or playing with the balance in warrior 3, floating the hands up or maybe out. Nice. Bending that left knee, stepping that right foot back, and opening those arms, moving into our warrior 2 pose. So left knee is bending, positioned directly over that left ankle. We're grounding down the outside of that right foot. Arms are strongly extending in opposite direction, and we're gazing over those left fingertips. Inhale, sink a little deeper, gaze over those left fingertips. Yes. Moving into our extended side angle. Left elbow comes over that left knee. Inhale that right arm up and over. Take a deep breath in and reach the right fingertips a little bit more. Exhale, spiral the heart, maybe gaze up at the sky. Beautiful. Getting ready to add on our final pose at the end of this flow. So we're gonna lower both hands down, and we are gonna take that left leg and keep reaching it up, 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 up for the sky. We're moving into our 3-legged dog. So we're in our regular down dog with both hands grounded, but that left leg is extended and both hips are square. So we're not opening that left hip. Both hips are facing downward, but we are actively extending that left leg up while pressing that right leg down. Beautiful. Let's lower that left leg and come into our regular downward facing dog for 3 full breaths. Again, you can keep a bend in the knees, melt the heart down, hug the elbows in. One more breath here, deep inhale, push the floor away with the hands, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze to the front of the mat. And on your next exhale, walk or jump your feet to the hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer pose. Well done. We're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, step that left foot back, coming into our low lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs. Right knee is over that right ankle. Inhale, lift that left arm up and over to the right. Inhale and soften that left hip flexor. Exhale, reach the left fingertips a little further. Go ahead, take that left hand, place it on the ground or on the yoga block next to the right foot. Inhale that right arm up or to the back of the room. Option to add that quad stretch right here. Inhale, soften that right hip. Exhale, twist a little deeper, looking over that right shoulder. Nice. Let's place that right hand back to the front of the mat and send those hips back, moving into our runner stretch. Left hip is over that left knee, right toes are flexed. Inhale, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Inhale and expand. Exhale and soften. Nice. Inhale back up to our low lunge for a moment. Bring the hands to the hips or reach those arms up. Tuck the left toes and lift that left knee, coming into our strong high lunge. Inner thighs squeezing in. And lowering the hands down onto the ground or onto the blocks. Stepping that left foot in a few inches and straightening that right knee. Pulling that right hip back. Moving into our pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Both legs are grounding down, both inner thighs hugging inward. Nice. If you don't already have your yoga block under the left hand, place it there next to the right foot. Inhale, right hand comes to the sacrum. Top of the head extends forward. Exhale, begin to spiral open to the right. Maybe reach the right arm up. Revolved triangle. So bottom half of the body is really grounding down, very active. Upper half of the body is extending outward in many directions, arms and head. Nice. Let's lower that right hand down. We're going to place both blocks a few inches in front of that right foot. Bend the right knee, kick off the left foot, moving into our warrior 3 prep. Hands can stay on the blocks or moving into the full balance, floating the fingers up, either in prayer pose or out to the side like an airplane. Nice. One more breath here. And bend that right knee, send that left foot back, moving into our warrior 2. Right knee is bending and over that right ankle. Outside of that left foot is reaching for the ground. Inhale, lift the crown of the head up. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Gaze over those right fingertips. Very nice. Moving into our extended side angle. Right elbow rests above the right knee. Inhale, reach those left fingertips up and over. Exhale, spiral the heart open to the sky. Beautiful. Getting ready to move into our final pose. Lowering both hands down and sending that right leg all the way up, moving into a 3-legged downward dog. Hips are square. Both palms of the hands are pressing the floor away. Left foot is grounded. Right leg is extended, reaching up for the sky. And again, 3-legged dog could look something like this. The leg does not have to be super high. There can also be a bend in both knees. It's finding the variation that works for your practice, feeling good. That's what this practice is about. From here, lower that right leg down, coming into our regular downward facing dog for 3 full breaths. Again, keeping a bend in the knee is a really wonderful option. Melting the heart down towards the quads feels really good. Pushing the floor away with the hands and reaching the hips up. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, gaze to the front of the mat. Exhale, walk or jump your feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Beautiful job. We're going to move into a little bit of a cool down now. So let's take those feet and place them about a little wider than hip width apart. Toes are pointing out and heels are facing in. We're going to slowly bend the knees and sink the hips, coming into a squat. Now, if this squat doesn't feel good on the knees or if it's not accessible, go ahead and take your yoga mat and you're going to roll it up a few times, creating some height, and then place your heels on top of that yoga mat. You can also use a blanket or towel, fold it up. But adding this height to the heels very often makes this squat a lot more comfortable and much more accessible. Elbows are going to come to the inside of the knees and press the knees open actively. So this is Malasana, our yogi squat. We're sinking the hips down to the ground and we're reaching the crown of the head up to the sky, trying to get our spine as straight as possible. You're going to feel this nice stretch to the inner thighs. Great. We're going to release that. I'm going to unfold my mat. And we're going to slowly lower back down on our sitting down onto the mat. Knees are bent. And we're going to slowly lower down so we're lying back. We're going to bring our arms out to the side. Take that right leg and cross it over the left. Lift the hips and scoot them over to the right and slowly lower the knees to the left. Now gaze is to the right, so we're adding a little bit of a passive twist here. This is one of my favorite ways to end my yoga practice with this twist. You could keep the arms extended out, or you can take that left hand and maybe place it to the outside of that right leg. And just staying here for a few breaths, enjoying the sensation of this twist. Nice. And slowly bring those knees back to the center. Uncross the legs, scoot the hips back to the middle, and then cross that left leg over the right, scoot the hips over to the left a little bit, and lower the knees to the right. Gaze to the left, And keep the arms just as they are, or take that right hand and place it to the outside of that left leg. Taking a few breaths just to melt into this twist right here. And bring your knees back to the center, uncrossing the legs. Hips can come to the middle. We're gonna do one last little stretch here. Pulling the knees in towards the armpits, taking the arms and reaching around for the outside edges of both feet. And we're gonna keep pulling those knees down into the armpits. This is happy baby pose. It's a really great stretch for the thighs and the hips. Try to reach your tailbone down for the ground. So if you find that you're like lifting the hips up, see if you can ground the hips down to the ground very actively. Flex the toes, press the heels up to the sky, and with the hands, pull the knees down towards the armpits. Happy baby pose. You can also rock from side to side here. One more breath in this stretch. And we're going to release the feet. And we're going to move into our final resting pose of the practice, which is Shavasana. So extending the legs straight out. They're about hip width apart and the feet are flopping open to the sides. Arms are a couple inches away from the body, palms are facing up. Go ahead and tuck the shoulder blades under the back. Tuck the chin, lengthen the spine, and go ahead and close your eyes. We're coming back to the breath, which is right where we began. And Shavasana is our final resting pose. It's a place where we can let our body and our mind take in the benefits of our practice. It's a really beautiful way to end each and every practice. I recommend staying here for about 5 to 10 minutes. And when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, you can definitely pause this video and stay here a few more minutes. And when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, we're going to begin by wiggling the toes and the fingers. And inhaling, reaching those arms up overhead like a nice big yawn. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to roll over onto the right side of the body, coming into a fetal position. Again, keeping the eyes closed, we're going to press up into a comfortable seated position. We're going to take the hands and place them in prayer pose in front of the heart. We're just going to take a moment to thank ourselves for showing up today. I would like to thank you for joining me, not only in today's practice, but for all 6 parts of this series. I've had a really wonderful time here. I hope that you have noticed a difference. Maybe you're feeling more open or stronger in the lower half of your body. We've been working on opening and strengthening the hips, the hamstrings, the quads, and the glutes. So I hope you're feeling a difference. Thank you so much for joining me today and every day. Namaste.